Texas football's college football playoff hopes are on life support after a thrashing between the hedges against Georgia. Texas basketball had a perfect week on the hardwood after the men and women won both of its games, and Texas volleyball capped off its incredible regular season with the win, building much needed momentum going into the SEC tournament. All of this and more on College Press Box. Good evening and welcome back to College Press Box. I am Nolan Clay, hosting with Zoe Frigilana tonight. Before we get started, we want to remind you that College Press Box is brought to you by Cat Metro, Austin's transit system. We connect you to work, school, play, and everywhere in between. Plan your ride to this weekend's game at catmetro.org. On Saturday night, Texas took a huge hit to its college football playoff hopes, losing to Georgia for the third straight time. In this instance, it happened in embarrassing fashion, falling 35-10. There are a lot of questions floating over the team, and some of those questions were answered at head coach Steve Sarkisian's Monday press conference. Our very own Kendall Unger and TJ Quillowitz were at the presser covering all of the action. Great work, Kendall and TJ. This weekend, Texas was looking to overcome its past demons against Georgia, while the Bulldogs were looking to once again establish dominance over the Longhorns. Let's take a look at the highlights. Texas traveled to Athens, Georgia to play between the hedges in Sanford Stadium for the first time in its history, and the crowd was ready. Texas drove downfield for an opening field goal, but Georgia responded right away with an opening touchdown drive capped by this 17-yard touchdown pass from Gunnar Stockton to Noah Thomas, making it 7-3 Bulldogs. Texas struggled to move the ball for the rest of the first quarter, and Georgia capitalized, finding its playmakers, including this 30-yard catch and run from Zachariah Branch to put Georgia in a goal-to-go situation. The Dogs would capitalize on Branch's electric play, with Gunnar Stockton finding Noah Thomas again for his second touchdown of the game, opening up an early 11-point lead over the Longhorns. Now later in the second, Arch in the offense needed to cut into the lead, but he would be picked off on this play for the first time since Mississippi State. Texas had a case for a possible holding on DeAndre Moore, but the refs did not see anything. The Texas defense held strong to end the half and would come out flying again in the second half as linebacker Anthony Hill would make an incredible acrobatic intercepting Gunnar Stockton. As you can see right here, Hill has his hips moving like Shakira, reading Stockton's eyes, and perfectly high points the ball for the incredible takeaway. Not a lot of linebackers can make that play. Now Texas has the momentum back on its side, needing to capitalize, and it does as Manning finds Ryan Wingo for 6 to cut the lead to 4. It was a nice redemption moment for Wingo after 2 early drops in the game. However, Georgia would snatch the Longhorns' chain once again, converting 2 fourth downs and finishing off the drive with this beautiful 30-yard pitch and catch from Stockton to London Humphreys to push the lead back to 11. Kirby Smart can now smell blood, and he goes for the kill, executing an inch-perfect onside kick, catching Texas off guard like he did with a fake punt in the SEC championship game last season. Now the crosshairs are lined up, and Gunnar Stockton pulls the trigger, delivering the finishing blow to the Longhorns with this masterfully executed 6-yard touchdown pass to Lawson Lucky. Georgia would score one more touchdown to add insult to injury, and the game would end 35-10 with Kirby Smart and his Georgia Bulldogs cementing their full ownership over Steve Sarkisian and the Texas Longhorns. Our very own TJ Krulowitz and Gabriel Silva were on the scene at Sanford Stadium this week. Let's take a look at their coverage. Outstanding coverage, TJ and Gabriel. Now here to talk more about a disaster weekend for Texas is Zoe and Trinity. Zoe? Solid work, Trinity and Zoe. When College Press Box returns, we'll take a look into Texas volleyball's great finish to the regular season and preview its chances to win the upcoming SEC tournament. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Thanks, Zoe. I'm here with Kate Amon to talk more about Texas volleyball as they prepare for the SEC tournament. Welcome to the show, Kate. How are you?
I'm honestly a little sad that there will be no more volleyball games at Gregg for the future.
Absolutely. So let's get started. Yes, always sad when a season is coming to an end, but this team is not close to being finished with their season. Before we jump into that, give me your favorite highlights of the season. Absolutely. You know, that game had to set the tone for the season, just going for the rest of the season. And I agree with you, Kate. Having the volleyball team play at the movie to start the season was pretty incredible. But now, after a season full of wins, it's time for SEC tournament. Last week, you talked about Kentucky being Texas' biggest competition going into the SEC tournament. Is that still the case?
Yeah.
So, Kentucky is a strong competitor for Texas. And then what are Texas' strengths that allowed them to be ranked number 3 in this SEC tournament? Absolutely, I agree with everything you said. That'll do it from here. Thanks for joining us again, Kate. Back to you at the desk, Zoe. Welcome back to College Press Box. Texas women's basketball has started the season 4-0 and has a couple big games coming up. For more analysis, let's send it over to Zoe. On Wednesday night, Texas men's basketball took on Fairleigh Dickinson, looking to start its first win streak of the young season. Our very own Trinity Jason and Kate Amon had us covered with all of the action. Great work, Trinity and Kate. Now, for more analysis on Texas men's basketball, let's send it over to Zoe. Thanks, Zoe, and great work, Colin and Aiden. When we return to College Press Box, we'll take a look at this past week in Longhorn sports and see what's ahead. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. On Friday night, longtime Texas men's golf coach John Fields was inducted into the University of New Mexico's Athletic Hall of Honor. Before coaching at Texas, Fields played 4 years at New Mexico, finishing in the top 8 nationally twice, and also served as the Lobos head coach for 10 years, leading them to 9 NCAA championship appearances. At Texas, Fields has led the Longhorns to 2 national championships and 23 appearances in the NCAA championships. Now let's take a look at this week in Longhorn sports. Tonight, men's basketball is at home against Rider at 8 p.m. That will be on SEC Network. On Wednesday, women's basketball is at home against James Madison at 7 p.m. on SEC Network Plus. On Saturday, Texas football looks to bounce back at home against the Arkansas Razorbacks at 2:30 p.m. That will be on ABC. And on Sunday, Texas begins its SEC volleyball tournament run in the quarterfinal. Their opponent is to be determined. That will be at 6 p.m. on SEC Network Plus. And on Monday, Texas men's basketball begins their Maui Invitational journey against Arizona State. That will be at 10:30 p.m. on ESPN2.